Welcome back to Bros in a Landfill, where roses are red, violets are blue, and according to YouTube, no one watches us through.
Oh, that was mean.
Listen, man, I don't make the rules.
Anyways, your hosts for this week are Dizzy.
Why am I first?
Because I wanted to.
You.
Tar.
Why am I second?
I will never
And
forgive
Lunch.
you for this.
I actually wanted to be first, and I'm really upset.
You.
The worst possible combination.
And then there's me, Try, who's currently in the closet.
We're all in the closet.
Oh!
That
Because-
reminds me that this is the Valentine's Day special.
Yeah, exactly.
And I hope
Speaking of
we can
Valentine's,
get you
there's
out of there.
there's nothing more romantic than getting away to a new exciting place, which I think makes sense because Lunch and I both had recent moves. Do you want to talk a little bit about your move, Lunch?
I also relocated. I relocated my
you
soul from outside of my body.
Oh, that's so sweet, Dizzy.
No.
Where are you
Yeah, it's in my
astro
body
projecting
now.
Yeah, I'm
What?
roommating with Tar.
That's
Dizzy was my
interesting.
soulmate this entire time.
But
actual soulmate.
but this form of soulmate is more like a flatmate, but you're just souls in a body.
Yeah.
It's the new show that
it's
Tar.
kind
And it's
Landfill.
like,
Yeah.
who keeps drinking my
Hey!
soul milk? Okay, sure. I moved recently. I don't know how much there is to say about it actually.
What a
I
great
was
topic,
living with
sir.
my dad, and then I moved out into a flat with my friends. It didn't take that long because I don't have that many things, because it wasn't everybody moving, it was just me.
Did you move your game consoles?
Packing away my game consoles is
Did you
probably a
keep-
large percentage.
Did you forget?
Did
of
you
this
remember?
experience.
Did you remember to bring melee?
Did you remember the eggs?
I don't actually. Okay,
Did
here's
you
the
get
sad
eggs
thing.
for Bart?
No.
You got it.
If I put eggs on the back
I
of
am
the trailer,
very
then they're
lost
gonna
right now.
smash and fall off everywhere. What was the question I got asked a second ago? I forgot. After did
Did
you
you bring
answer
melee?
what?
Did you remember melee?
Okay, here's the sad thing. I actually currently don't own Melee because it was my brother's copy, and then he moved to another city, and then he fucking sold it. So
That's
there's just
lame.
no Melee.
Yeah.
That's lame.
And you know, it's not that cheap just to get a GameCube disc.
I know. Hey, well, you don't need the worst game in the series.
You
Oh!
you fucker. You
Wow!
But he already
we have a
bought
very
Smash
specific
Ultimate.
topic today.
But he already bought
So-
Smash
I mean-
Ultimate.
If Try didn't say it, I would've.
I wouldn't have said it. I would not have said it. I'm just riding the coattails.
The Okay, I'm just gonna let this go. I moved.
So now that we know that you've moved into a flat with your friends, what is your recording space like?
What?
Well,
Paint us a
my
picture,
room
paint us a
is
picture.
kind of too small for all of the things I have. Like, because
Paint
I've
us-
got my bed, I've got my TV, I've got my computer and my microphone and everything. So it's like you're kind of awkwardly sidling around, and like I've got the closet, which is right next to the door, which is right next to the bed. So, yeah, it's a bit cramped, but the emotional benefits of not living at my parents' house
Yeah.
far outweigh the annoyance of a slightly cramped room.
Hear,
Not that I have
hear.
any problem with my parents. My parents are wonderful people, but
Here.
I've been in kind of a bad emotional place for like a year because, or maybe a little more because I don't know. I felt really like I haven't been adulting correctly. I didn't have a job, and I was just kind of bumming around at my
I
parents'
live
house.
by myself and I'm still not adulting correctly.
Well, there's definitely something about the lack, like relying on other people and lack of independence that can really, that can cause like depression and.
Absolutely,
Do
man.
we really want to have
Yeah,
this
I
talk
mean-
right now of all times?
On
Well,
Valentine's Day?
hey, it's very relevant to me moving. Like,
Yeah, no, that's-
because there's
I
not
mean-
that much stuff for me to say about putting things in boxes and moving them here, other than the fact that it was annoying.
Gee, it's almost like one
but-
of us voted against this topic.
But-
Specific
You know what,
reason.
You know what's annoying about like a move? When you order a U-Haul truck, it's supposed to have a furniture dolly, and it they don't have any furniture dollies to give you. So you and your 60-plus-year-old dad have to slowly load the truck full of heavy furniture and then unload the truck full of heavy furniture all within a few hours.
Yeah,
Yikes.
that's pretty garbage.
Don't you hate it?
Especially when you have a
I
really
give you one yike.
especially when you have a big dense wooden desk that should not be carried by human beings without the help of tools.
Well,
Ooh.
that sounds really shitty. Like, I feel like I got off really easy.
And the only saving grace is that this is just a one-story like apartment flat thing, so we didn't have to deal with any stairs.
Yay!
Okay, well, that's nice.
Yeah, that's the nice part. It's also relatively close to my parents' house, so it's not like we had to move everything all at once.
Yeah, that helps.
Yeah.
Don't you hate it when you're
That
trying
first
to
day,
move?
that first day was rough.
This is what people wanted to go on Bros in the Landfill to hear.
Man, it's almost
Anyways.
like one of us voted against this topic idea for.
Anyways,
look, can't we
Two of
stop?
us.
Anyways, I just wanted to bring that up because now I'm recording in a closet instead of my car. So now,
Yay!
see, that's
No
nice.
Well,
right?
welcome in the
Yeah.
closet, Try. I've been doing that from the start.
Yep. Gotta drink that broccoli G.
That no one will get that joke, and you don't drink mouthwash. Don't drink mouthwash, you strange old man.
You know,
Maybe
I'm
you
doing this
don't.
now we need to make our own Bros in a Landfill store and have
Sell broccoli G.
the Dizzy certified broccoli G mouthwash.
I mean, if they'll sell bacon and peanut butter and jelly flavored sodas, I think people will drink anything.
That's
Oh,
fair.
God. Please
It
don't make
cleans
me
out
throw
your
up on
mouth
a
and your
podcast.
colon.
Oh!
Oh,
I'm gonna go
that's
vomit.
a tagline and a half right there. Welcome back to Bros in the Landfill. It cleans
Yeah,
out
broccoli
your mouth
G
and your
sells
colon.
itself, Dizzy. This idea of yours is golden.
just like golden experience.
Okay, well, let's rein things in for a moment.
Yeah. Okay.
I just wanted to say that moving was annoying, but it's been very beneficial for me personally because now I feel independent-ish, and those things that have been kind of holding me down for a year so long that I was kind of starting to feel like they were a part of me. Now they're kind of they're kind of gone, and so that's kind of freeing, but also weird.
Yeah, a big change, like any sort of big change can be like that. You have like this refreshing feeling, but you got to remember that you got to keep this feeling fresh. You got to keep moving forward. You can't
Yeah,
let yourself
exactly.
settle just because you've had a change.
That's very true. I'm trying to, like I got here and then I was happy about it, and then I was like, oh shit, well now what? Like now I have to find new problems and figure those out.
Yep.
So yeah, I'm feeling pretty good.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad to hear that, bro.
Thank you,
I don't know.
fellow bro.
I mean, I don't want to like.
Bro.
Now we're just.
I'm not trying to like dismiss anything by any means at all because I don't think anyone being in pain is a good thing. But I guess I'm more thinking that this just doesn't belong with this topic matter. Like this should have been its own thing and an isolated incident, and an isolated kind of conversation.
Okay. Well, I mean, we're pretty bad at staying on topic in the show anyway.
Yeah. Anyways.
We're too
Yeah.
good at staying on topic, honestly. I think we need
Are
more
we,
banter.
though?
Yes,
Are we? Oh.
I wanted
Well,
to break
you know
one.
what? Yeah, well, I was about to say I think this little segment talk about the us moving was a good introduction for us to talk about another game that involves you moving to a new place, getting to know new people, and making your mark.
Oh, is it Bloodborne?
No, it's Persona.
Try, don't make me get the spray bottle.
I
Oh,
mean,
I
you're
wanna get that
technically
spray button.
incorrect when you consider that more than half of the games are not about you actually leaving your hometown.
Yeah, only like 3 through 5 have the moving to a new school. 1 and 2, like you're already kind of
1 and 2
there.
and 2, you're already there. I mean, you can technically ring Persona into this because it's also a dating sim, but we're not going to do that because
Yeah.
I'm
I
not.
mean, that would have been really good to do the dating. It'd be really good to do a Persona dating sim discussion with 2 people who haven't played Persona.
Oh, just like it was a good idea to talk about Animal Crossing with 3 people who haven't played it.
I've played Animal
I
Crossing.
have very limited experience with Animal Crossing, but I have played it.
I think everybody's got
played it.
got their own experience with Animal Crossing.
Well, I'm just very.
Right, we didn't actually say that's what we're talking about.
We're
now
talking-
talking about Animal Crossing because Animal Crossing is kind of related to moving.
We're not talking
and
about Animal
these
Crossing, we're
things are
talking about
somehow
Pokemon.
related
Animal
No.
Crossing is Pokemon. Excuse you.
You move in Pokemon. You move in every Pokemon game. You do more moving in Pokemon than you do in Persona.
Then let's talk about this. Let's figure out which game has the best experience of moving.
Well, in Pokemon Emerald version, you go to your
Excuse
new
me.
house in the Hoenn
Persona,
region
Pokemon,
on a truck.
Persona, Pokemon, or Animal Crossing. Which game would you rather move to?
Legend of Zelda.
Okay, that's a very different question. Which game would I like to move to?
Which game had the best moving in it?
Yes. Which game?
Well, that's a
Well, I
different
mean, in
question.
Pokemon, they just cram you in the back of the truck.
Except in the Kalos region. In that one, you're flown there. Wait, no, that was Sun and Moon. Kalos.
Yes, I mean.
What?
That's Alola.
How do you move in Kalos?
I don't remember actually.
Kalos, you were just there.
Yeah, no, you were.
You
I
moved
think,
there, though.
I think we're.
You moved there.
I'm
from-
pretty sure you just lived there.
No, you moved there from another region because your mom's a famous Rhyhorn rider from another region. They keep mentioning
Don't argue
this.
with don't argue with Dizzy. He played X and Y more than anybody ever should.
So did I.
No one should play X and Y. It was a bad game. But
Why do you keep playing these games that you hate?
well, I
Disney
played
hates
X and
himself,
Y
that's
3
why.
times. So if that's more times than anyone ever should, then that's not a good sign.
Okay, Dizzy needs something to hate more than he hates himself.
No,
Oh,
nothing
man.
will ever fill that void. This is the worst
guys.
Valentine's Day episode ever. This is
Yeah,
an episode of-
exactly.
This is a show about
Come on.
hatred and sadness.
Exactly.
I
We
hate-
should be talking about like the Sakura series.
I
Let's not.
hate stupid, incompetent people who make moving hard for other people. I hate myself. I hate it when someone else is trapping someone else in their house and they have to move away to be free of them. I hate
Well, okay, what the
Jerks.
fuck? I'm not allowed to talk about my transformative emotional experience of moving, but you can talk about. You could go on a hateful tirade as long as it's like in raw form.
It's
It's
only
okay.
because we
I'm
can't
saying
stop
I,
him.
Okay,
I'm saying I
let's-
hate
let's-
what made you unhappy.
Okay. Let's move to something
So
more
that's
positive. Dizzy, what do you like about Animal Crossing that keeps you playing it before we start recording podcasts?
Nothing. I stopped playing it a week ago.
Oh, man,
Man,
Wow.
we really should have done this episode a week ago.
Can we start over?
no, we don't have.
We're
time to
too
start
far
over.
in now.
This is a good episode. Shut up.
Honestly,
This
Animal
has been
Crossing
an
is just kind of
experience and a half so far.
so-
Animal Crossing
what
is just
kept
kind
you
of a
pl-
routine, and when you get tired of the routine, you kind of just stop. You just kind of lose interest.
I would definitely agree.
I would argue that
That's like it's a metaphor for daily life.
it's not a metaphor; it's a life simulation.
You know,
I would argue that every single person who plays Animal Crossing for for like more than a week or two begins formulating a fake reality that because of the world that you're given. And I don't mean a fake reality of like, oh, you're running away or stuff. I mean like you start implying things that aren't actually there. Like this animal is friends with this animal, or these two hate each other, or this thing really likes the color yellow. Because the
Yeah, that's just called world building. What are you talking about?
it's called
Okay,
world.
yeah,
it's
I agree.
because you're making
So-
it up in your own head. It's not actually
No,
being
okay,
presented
so-
to you.
so-
It's
so
implying a
that's-
greater
that's-
meaning from something that's incredibly simplistic.
That's the biggest. That's the biggest strength and biggest weakness of Animal Crossing.
It's
in
like
sense.
having a fish tank and then starting to believe that
it-
the fish are talking amongst each other and having a society.
to some degree, all Animal Crossing is a little play like little fake play world that you play like if you have toys. It's like
This is-
toys where you give personalities to these. Like these characters have shallow personalities, but you
I wouldn't
create your
call
own
them
story
shallow.
around it.
If they had shallow
talking-
personalities, I don't think you'd get invested at all.
Yeah, well, but I'm saying that it's not deep to any these are just people with animals with personalities. There's no greater story, greater struggle. They don't really have much in regards to an actual life. That's where you have to make the implication for. If you take a step back and you look at it, it's just a character that says these same sort of lines or has some sort of side quest for you to do that doesn't lead into anything else.
I don't know. I think
It's-
everyone gets a different experience from playing the same game, and especially a game like Animal Crossing because
Well,
it
because- yeah,
doesn't
'cause everything-
follow a
everything-
concrete kind of a semblance of structure.
Yeah, I mean everything's randomized in the sense of who populates your town, the shape of your town.
There's like a
types of
million
food,
animals.
etc. Yeah.
Tyler, say
Look,
something.
it's clearly meant to like, of course there's some subjectivity on how you approach the game, but it's obvious that it's going for that, like that those implied character relationships that aren't being shown to you are obviously a core part of the experience. Like, it's just a game where things happen and they kind of emerge, and then you kind of assign your own meaning to it, and buying into the little world is kind of what the point is. And like, I don't think that that's not a valid way of like showing a story. Like, I don't think that's unmasking the game's world as not meaningful. I think that's just how it works.
Well,
Meaning is
it
based
goes back
upon
to-
your own interpretation of it.
Well, that goes back to what I was saying.
Yeah,
I
but
feel like
every story is kind of.
Yeah, that's
well,
what I
feel
mean.
like well, I sort of get this feeling that the inspiration for the game is those like when you're like those toddler little kid toys where you have like the little town or the little village that you're playing around with, and you pretend that you're doing chores and you're interacting with these little toys. Like, there's like this little community of toys you have.
What Tyler little
Man,
kid
that's-
stores were you playing with?
I've
Those sound pretty advanced to
Not that
me.
every
Or-
kid's
or was
played
I
with-
just
not that-
behind the times?
I think you're a little bit behind the times
And I-
because I was already a bit behind it. I had toys like that when I was a kid, and I could already tell that those were like toys for like that I was already part of the generation getting out of that.
When I was a
Well, for example, I
toddler, they
very
gave me
much-
a ball with a bunch of shapes, and they said, "Get the balls, get the shapes out of the ball
What?
without
Okay.
opening
When I
it."
say toddler, I'm talking about like ages 3 through 5.
When I
But
talk about
to the
toddlers, I
same-
mean 3 through 4.
Okay, but it's that same feel where you have like these stuffed animals or these like animal toys or whatever, and you pretend that they have their own little community or whatever. It's that sort of Toy Story-esque view where like they have their personalities. You pretend they're doing things, and
Yeah, I think so.
I think I think the game speaks to that childlike nostalgia, where you like, or I guess as an adult it wouldn't be considered normal for you to play with those sorts of toys or even worth your set of time. But I think Animal Crossing's presentation is so strong and so iconic that it can get away with like creating this sort of nostalgia or the same sort of feeling that you'd get playing with these toys.
Animal
I don't
Crossing
think
is
I played the same game as all of you.
Animal Crossing is a self-imposed responsibility. Well, at least
Well,
New
okay.
Leaf is.
It,
I agree that it has that kind of similar vibe of like, it has an almost kind of safe childhood feeling to it if it's hitting on all the right notes, like with all the music and all the character designs and stuff coming together. It's like, like it has that kind of childlike comfort, like, I don't know, like cuddling a toy or whatever. It doesn't really matter, but it's just nice. Though I kind of want to, something I think is interesting about Animal Crossing is that like, I feel like a big part of the appeal is that it has this kind of energy, and which is not really found in real life once you're an adult, right? Like,
yeah. Oh yeah.
the
Definitely.
world is okay. I've got to put away childish things now, but I kind of wish I could still reconnect with those things. And so, what if I could go into this quaint little town where everyone's just nice to each other and there aren't really fights, and I can just like sell apples to pay my rent or whatever.
Or
But
or if
People
it is
fight
a
in
quarrel,
Animal
it's
Crossing
fair.
all the time.
Well, I mean, but it's always
But not like in real
resolved.
life.
It's not like a real life fight. It's always like resolved to an extent. There's always something you can do. It's not as extreme as things can get in the real world.
Kind of depends.
Far from it.
The thing that I find interesting though is that, well, like, I mean, already that's interesting, but if you get too far into Animal Crossing, it starts to feel like real life, where suddenly like your connections with the characters seem tenuous, and you're like just trying to like operate on like a like escalation in terms of what you can afford and have in your house, and like it becomes about money and expansion. And it actually becomes like real life again until you're like, fuck, this is just like, I'm just in a fucking rat race and I'm running through these structures. What did I come here for again?
See, I can't really agree with that because I sort of hit my upper limit and I just don't care anymore. Like,
Yeah, well, that's the thing. That's why you
boredom
put it down.
My boredom came from like just the completion more or less, and I didn't even max up my house all the way. I just said, all right, I'm good with this, and then I was done.
Yeah, well, that's
But you can't do that in real life. It's
Well, that's kind of why real life is more compelling, because in Animal Crossing eventually will run out of objectives or ambition. Well, in real life, if you run out of that, then you either have to find more, or, like, I don't know, think about things.
Yeah, but
This is like
there's
existential
that-
cast now.
Well, sure,
great.
but that's
you're-
what
if
I
you're
think
not-
is interesting about Animal Crossing. Like when you get to
What
that
kind of-
point in real life, it's I think it's pretty similar. It's like, well, fuck, what do I do now? It's like, is there nothing left in the world? And it's just funny that Animal Crossing starts off as like an escape from that feeling, and then kind of becomes it.
See, I never really
my opinion.
I think
really
I
used
played
it.
a very different Animal Crossing than the rest.
Okay,
See, I can't
let's
agree
take a
with.
step-
I'm not saying you're wrong, Lunch, but I am saying that I think we have like two completely different
Well,
starting points that
but I
spread
think-
out into two completely different trees of thought. Because
But
I
I
don't.
think- I think
my
that-
starting point didn't even begin with escapism.
Well, I think to some degree, Animal Crossing is a different game for every person. Everybody interacts with the game differently because it is sort of that moldable toy box sort of thing. It's like a sandbox sort of game with whatnot. Anyways, I want to take a step back and I want to hear what sort of game Tar has played before we completely dominate the conversation. Because Tar doesn't get enough time to talk. But yeah, I am generally interested into hearing what his what game.
Oh, don't worry, I don't have much to say.
Well,
it doesn't have to be much,
that's
but-
very worrisome.
Well, I just want to hear what you're getting out of this conversation, what you're comparing to, what you remember with Animal Crossing.
So I played Animal Crossing when I was really little. I think I was maybe 8 at the time. My entire Animal Crossing experience was me finding a train, getting on the train, going somewhere, and then immediately getting lost. And then I turned off the game and returned it.
What?
You got lost.
What? Wait, which Animal Crossing was this?
I don't remember.
Okay.
Was this the first one?
That's hilarious.
I think it was the first one. It was for the GameCube.
Wait,
Yeah,
you
that was
got
the first one.
lost.
You got what?
See, that's
I got
another
lost.
example of Animal Crossing uncomfortably recreating a real experience. I got on the wrong train. I don't know where I am, where my parents are.
Did you find a dragon in the forest, pull a sword out of its back, and then it became your maid?
No!
I almost expect Tar to find a completely different game within it. Like he gets so lost that it's no longer like Animal Crossing. He just suddenly finds his way into Super Mario Sunshine,
Or Sonic the Hedgehog?
Shadow the Hedgehog.
Oh!
Cause Sonic.
The train headed for Station Square will be arriving soon.
I'd rather go to Station Sayre than West City. Or Westopolis.
Like, that's interesting. You say that, Tar, because the first Animal Crossing I played was the GameCube one. I played it back when I think it was 5 or 6, and I remember getting really into it when I was at that age, and I was one of those people that was like making these inferences, giving more personalities to these characters. Funny story.
I didn't even meet any characters!
I don't. Maybe you had a corrupted
I
version of the game.
There was
Maybe-
one person who I talked to on the train that was like, "Where do you want to go?" And I'm like, "Oh, let's go to fucking Antarctica." I'm like, "You can't go there."
Yeah, that was Rover.
I don't know. I don't think that was Animal Crossing. I think that was Animal Passing.
Maybe, I don't know.
Why did
I
the
think
animal
you got a
cross the
Chinese.
road
Ooh, to get to the other side.
of life.
Oof. Maybe you got the Chinese knockoff that was heavily scratched and broken.
Did you get it from Vinny, who corrupts? Never mind.
I want to play.
I
I
got
want
it
to
from
throw away the
weird.
joke.
Blockbuster. I don't know.
I
I want to
just
play a
don't know-
weird Animal Crossing disc where like it takes me to some fucking random town where there's no people and I'm like, where am I?
Because like other than like if there was a serious glitch, I don't know how you could have got lost. Because once you get off the train, it walks you to your house and lets you choose which house you want.
No,
Like-
I didn't
like-
get that. It just dropped me off in a forest.
I'm
Or like a meadow or something.
and I'm.
I just
remember-
we can't comprehend how this is a possible experience.
Yeah, I
that
know,
you had.
because I remember getting lost a few times in Animal Crossing, but like only for a few seconds. I'm like, oh yeah, this is where I go.
I was just
Am I-
trying to find the train again.
You had the
It
like
must-
complete antithesis experience of Animal Crossing, where like you went in there and you felt totally not at home. You didn't know what was going on. It was disorienting and frightening, and there was no one to comfort you. It's like the
I
exact
mean,
opposite of
maybe
what these
there were
games
people
are.
around. Again, this happened so many years ago, I don't remember it vividly. The only thing I remember was I was trying to find the train again, and I just couldn't.
I feel like Tar almost wound himself up in one of those Animal Crossing creepypastas.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like. All I can really remember from childhood is that I was trying to find the train again.
And I thought I was gonna be, the embarrassed one coming on. You're saying that when I was 5, I had a crush on Sally the squirrel.
Sorry, my internet cut out for 1 second. You what?
Yeah, no. When I was like 5, I was had a crush on like this Sally the squirrel.
Oh.
She was in my town. She just left.
I did not hear.
Okay,
that
Googling
was
Sally the
very-
squirrel.
That was very important
Sally
context that I missed.
Squirrel.
She
Yeah.
just left my town, Try. You missed her.
Oh
no.
no!
I'm not even kidding you.
Not Sally.
Damn it! This just came up with.
I remember
Sonic
like writing like
Sally
this, okay.
Acorn.
So talk about like a cringy 5-year-old who has no idea about like social standards. I in game, like you can send mail to the characters.
Yeah.
I would send like love letters to Sally in the game and get depressed that she was not responding in any way that the game wasn't programmed to respond.
I mean, I feel I don't really know a lot of people that play Animal Crossing specifically. I watched 2 YouTubers, and both of them, like, I guess, developed like a crush or something on certain characters. So, and now I'm hearing you did too. So I guess I'm thinking in my head, I guess it must be pretty normal, actually. I mean, it's a life simulation, so eventually you're gonna
I was gonna say,
attach
I
to
can't
someone.
My
believe-
internet's been in and out.
I can't believe Try is a furry.
The last thing
Oh,
I
I'm-
heard was sending love letters to a squirrel and
You-
not
you-
getting responses.
You know what, Tar? I'm gonna go ahead and quote Game Grumps at you and say like,
I don't know.
hold on, let me find the exact
At me.
let me find the exact quote. It was something that the Dan guy said, and he was like, yeah, I liked animals, and then because one weirdo decided to give it a name, that makes me a furry. And I'm like, that's like, yeah, like you don't have to be a furry. Try doesn't necessarily
God
have to
damn,
be a furry.
I'm just like popping in and
Hey,
out of existence here, occasionally hearing things.
Do you like The Lion King?
No.
It was all right.
Then you're a furry, Tar.
Oh, well then. Okay.
Did you
that
like
is-
Animal Soccer World? Or Son of the Lion King 1, 2, and 3?
But by nature of Disney, like all of you guys playing Animal Crossing once in your life, you're a de facto furries.
No,
Oh,
I'm not.
well, again, I didn't meet anyone in the game, so I didn't come across any animals. So does that mean?
Okay,
Does
okay.
that
you-
really
you-
mean
okay.
I'm a furry?
I mean, your avatar is literally a Raichu. That's a ghost type. So you identify as a animal-like creature. Therefore, you are a furry, Tar.
You know what? I
Oh,
think I'm just
fuck.
gonna go ahead and drop out of the podcast forever again.
Okay, off the
Yeah,
furry
same.
topic.
I think that's the episode.
Yeah, nah. So I only wanted to bring this up because I recent like the most recent time I played Animal Crossing was I got New Leaf because it was on sale like a few years ago, and I had that rush of this excitement like, oh, it's a new exciting world, and I remember like being incredibly bored like a few minutes, well, like a few hours after playing the game, and it's sitting in my DS. My town's just withering away, and I don't know if I should just delete it and save all the animals in there the pain and torment of not being taken care of, or just not give a shit enough and just be like, oh, maybe I'll come back and play it someday, and then get berated by them because whatnot.
No. I mean, like, I think with any game, if you're not really enjoying it, then you shouldn't play it. This coming from
I think we're,
Captain
like,
plays
down-
Persona 5, Pokemon X and Y, and Eternal Sonata.
Well, I think what comes down to with Animal Crossing is, I think at a younger age I could get behind these like the characters not having much personality, like, well, having personality but not much backstory or
Not much
or whatnot.
depth.
There is nothing more to do in Animal Crossing really than other than the infinite grind for more money and more things.
Oh.
And
That's not the experience I had, so I can't say one way or the other.
I mean, for someone like me, I'm not gonna find like the enjoyment in this. Like, I'm not gonna be like, oh, there's fun, silly things or secrets
Oh,
or
lunch is
whatnot
gone.
to do. Oh, lunch is gone.
Yep,
Hooray!
lunch is gone. Bye, lunch.
By lunch, he might come. He might be going on his phone or whatever. I, out of curiosity, what was your usual routine in Animal Crossing, Dizzy? Like, what you were getting out of it?
I don't know. I mean, I'd just sort of open it up and I'd play it.
Hmm.
I'd just sort of fall into a trance and I'd just be like, this is what I'm doing today.
Mm-hmm. Well, lunch is gone. His internet's out.
Yeah, his internet is doo-doo.
Yeah. So, I mean, like when you started, Dizzy, when you started playing, like, what was your thought process when you started playing the game?
My thought process was that I watched two other YouTubers play it and have a lot of fun with it. Actually, 3 YouTubers played and have fun with it. And I wanted to give it a whirl, so I did.
My experience with Animal Crossing is listening to other people talk about how they're playing Animal Crossing and wondering, what the fuck did I do wrong?
Oh, everything, Tar.
You incurred the wrath of Sonic the Hedgehog.
I actually like.
Oh.
Tar, like if they ever come, like when they come out with Animal Crossing Switch, it might be interesting for us all three to hop on and Dizzy to stream us like fucking with Tar.
Like I have a Switch or a means of streaming your stuff.
Fair enough. But I think that for me the biggest weakness in Animal Crossing is that there's no real bonding with the animals. You can't really create friendships with the animals. There's just
they're just there. They're just zeros and ones.
Like they're always they either like you or they hate you, and you can kind of change that pretty easily based off of different, like giving them gifts or doing things for them. But there's no real like hook to their personalities. There's no real reason to care about them as characters.
Again, can't really say I agree personally.
Most of my experience comes from.
I feel like if you look at a game with just as a bunch of ones and zeros, then you might be thinking about it in perhaps like no.
Well,
it's true cynical light.
I think so. Although I also don't know what the word cynical means, so that could easily be a fishing term, and I wouldn't know.
Sort of a jaded, pessimistic.
You're looking at this too monotheistically. Yes, that's exactly the word.
Well, I think where it comes with me, like as like for me, like what always keeps me going with the game is the characters and or the story. Like I've not like I think where it comes with Animal Crossing is it's too much of a grind. Like I mean, it's a completionist nightmare to one extent. Like due to there being no story other than you paying off your house, which I did in Animal Crossing 1.
I think the thing about Animal Crossing is that you can't really approach it as a game. Is the kind of thing.
And I think that's the thing. Where with me, and like where I am now, with my backlog of games, I can't really appreciate a game where you just because I kind of sort of see Animal Crossing as one of those like healing sort of games where you play it because you don't really play it to play a game. You play it because it's comforting.
In my experience, I only play it for like a few hours a day. I like go around the town, make rounds.
Only a few hours every day.
Jesus Christ!
Even then,
I'm lucky if I can play games for an hour a day.
Like 2. I just kind of power it on. I walk around the town. I just do whatever is happening at the moment, and then I turn it off and I do other stuff.
Because like I generally like
it's less of an escape, more of a routine.
I mean, especially with New Leaf, like really early on and quickly, like I found that I was in in the mobile game trapping in a sense. Like I think I would enjoy Animal Crossing more as a phone game. That's sans the actual Animal Crossing phone game, because it is that sort of game where you hop on and you play for a bit. You do whatever tasks. And it got really dry to just keep doing that, especially when I'm trying to boot it up on the DS and I've got other games to play.
I mean, I used to play it like all day, and then after a while I kind of fell into a routine. I don't know. Animal Crossing is kind of a difficult game to sort of dissect because one thing that someone thinks about it can very easily be a completely different experience for another person.
Yeah, well, I mean, people play games for different reasons, and that's
Except for Anthem. No one plays that.
oof. Like, and this has been Anthem in a landfill.
This has been Bros in an Anthem.
Oh, we're done?
Nah.
Well, if we're gonna finish, I have a bunch of just sweetheart candies to read off to the audience.
Oh, right, it's Valentine's Day.
Yeah, didn't you remember?
I was talking about being lost in a forest meadow.
We never even talked about why we chose this topic.
Oh, because of moving, and I had Animal Crossing on the brain recently.
Then neither of those actually equal to Valentine's Day.
Well, I just... Animal Crossing is incredibly charming, but I just don't think there's been an Animal Crossing out yet that really meets my needs in a game currently. I think if there was a bit more... Like, if the Animal Crossing had focused more on the community rather than the individual exponential growth of your character, I think I'd like it more.
Well, see, again, like, it's hard for me to comment on that because I never really cared about my main character in my Animal Crossing. I was always focused on the community. So I basically had your experience, except I'm not you.
Yeah, it's really weird because, as I said, this might be coming off of me having more playing the first Animal Crossing where there really wasn't a lot to do. The community in the first, like the animals in the first game were very much bland, like just faces with personalities. Like I can't really commentate on how more advanced the game is because me going into New Leaf, I can't shake the expectations I've had from the first Animal Crossing, and it's hard for me to be like, oh, maybe there is more to these characters, or maybe there is more to this without the game explicitly saying so, because all I have is based off my experiences playing the first game.
So Animal Crossing is kind of like one of those situations where before it's even begun, you already are in, like, you're already thinking about, like, other stuff because of previous history that you've had with it.
Yeah, because I played the first game to death. I made multiple accounts, and maybe I didn't.
You can have multiple accounts in the first game?
Yeah, you could have up to four characters per memory card.
Oh, dang. Well, is it all different?
And if you have multiple memory cards, you could have 2 towns where you went back. But what I would do is, like, I'd have one account on one memory card, another account on the other memory card, and I'd go back and forth between them, doing the tasks in them.
Man, I have no one to play Animal Crossing New Leaf with.
Yeah, New Leaf is weird. Though, I think in some ways I'd almost prefer Animal Crossing on a console than on the DS because I don't know. It's one of those weird games where there's certain things about the console experience that are really strong about the original Animal Crossing, but the game's not really designed well to be just turn on the console, play for a few minutes, turn off. But to the same extent, the sort of scope of the game, and I found some of the best ways to keep myself occupied in the game was by making 2 towns on 2 different memory cards, hopping between them, traveling between them, giving myself resources between them, and etc.
That sounds like a way that I've accumulated points in Soul Hackers.
Yeah, probably.
So I could buy a Cerberus.
But I just don't know if I could ever really enjoy an Animal Crossing game again fully because I'm just so cynical based off the first one. I don't like the changes they've made in New Leaf in regards to some of the like that city hub area where the subway or the train is. I'm not a big fan of that setup.
I mean, like, this might sound odd, again, coming from Captain spends hours on games he doesn't like, but if you don't think you can enjoy an Animal Crossing game, then I 100% vote to not buy one.
But I think this speaks back more to my childhood nostalgia, but I really want to have an Animal Crossing game that I really enjoy. I heard when I heard that New Leaf was actually really good because
it's hard to say if an Animal Crossing game is good or bad by a review score because, again, like, everything is subjective, but a game like Animal Crossing is specifically kind of... Hold on a second.
I'm not talking about review scores here. I'm talking about general public consensus.
Yeah, but the public thought Persona 5 was good.
Daisy, don't make me get the spray bottle.
Okay, fine. The public thought
let
Super
me-
Mystery Dungeon was
Okay.
good.
Okay, thank you.
Let me take it. Okay, let me rephrase this. When Animal Crossing DS came out, nobody was really talking about it. When Animal Crossing, when the original Animal Crossing came out, people were talking about it. When DS and the City Folk on the Wii came out, no one was really talking about it. All of a sudden, New Leaf comes out and it's a immediate hit.
Okay, that's
I'm like,
understandable.
Oh, maybe there's something worth checking out with this one, because the problem with Animal Crossing is that there hasn't been that much change between the games from the first one, and I think that's probably why DS and City Folk didn't get that much attention hype, because DS was just seen as a DS port of Animal Crossing with some minor changes.
Mhm.
City Folk had the whole speak thing, that whole peripheral where you could speak, do speak commands into the TV, and I think that was seen as too much of a gimmick
Yeah.
for people to really care about.
Yeah.
And then New Leaf comes out, and all of a sudden it's really popular. You're like, I think the gimmick of you being the mayor of your own town was really I think that's a good sort of idea. That's a good angle to take it, because it gives you more agency over your town and agency over the progression of your town, rather than just saying, "Oh, I'm just gonna keep improving my house over and over again." I'm gonna improve areas of the town throughout the game.
So,
I
I
don't know.
don't
Then you
think-
have people
I don't-
like me who they play Animal Crossing New Leaf and they forget they're the mayor.
But I do find that to be
wait,
understandable.
hang on.
Hmm.
You were focused on your community, yet you forgot you were the mayor?
Yeah.
Okay.
I basically
To be-
made
to
no
be-
ordinances and started basically zero public
No.
works projects.
Because none of
Oh.
it matters. It comes down to the point is none of that matters. None of it actively improves the lives of the people in the town. The ordinances, all that matter. All the ordinances, they change game certain statistics based off of different, how much bells you're getting, the types of fruit, or how certain parts of the town's taken care of. But it never really affects anything other than aesthetic things of the town, or like with the build projects, it's either aesthetic or, oh, let's build a bridge here so it makes the town a bit more easy to travel around for myself.
Wait, hang on. There's something I want to know.
Yeah.
So, you guys would probably know better than me.
I don't
Is
know.
Tom
About that.
Nook actually the head of the mafia?
No.
Yes.
Oh, this is why we need lunch, because then we have a third person to break the tie.
I guess we won't know until next week.
And this has been Bros in the Landfill, signing off.
Oh wait, so before we go, just to tie
Oh,
back
wait.
into Valentine's Day, even though I'm not gonna do that, whatever. I'm just gonna say, we don't have. Here's a bunch of just sweethearts for all of you out there.
Yay!
Love
Yay!
you, awesome, you rock, you go girl. Hello, got love, soulmate, dare ya? Hey you, be true, so fine. I love you, be mine. And that's it. I don't have a big list.
You missed the swak.
What's swak?
Bye.
Bye.
Happy Valentine's Day.